All right, welcome back to lesson 10.4. We are on page 440. You can see there. This is the example for lesson 10.4. It's another multi-step conversion problem, meaning we're going to convert multiple units of measurement. So it will take more than one step to complete this. As you can see, this one's a little bit shorter than the one last time though. And we're already familiar with how it works, so I bet it will take us about only half the time. So let's take a closer look at this example. A carton of large grade A eggs weighs about 1.5 pounds, or 1.5 pounds. That's another way to read that. If a carton holds a dozen eggs, how many ounces does each egg weigh? So, what are my different units of measurement? Well, I see that I have pounds and ounces. I know that those are units of weight, customary units of weight. The other one is one that it's given to me. It's saying that a carton holds a dozen eggs. So that's another customary unit, but it's very specific to how we buy eggs. They usually come in a pack of dozen, and a dozen is another word that we probably know, meaning 12. So one carton holds 12 eggs. So first thing I want to remember is how many ounces are in a pound. One way I can remember is actually to flip back in my book to the last unit, lesson 10.3, where we learned units of weight, and I had a table in there that showed me how many ounces are in a pound. So if I don't remember, I can flip back right now and do that. Luckily, I do remember, and there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So now that I remember that there's 16 ounces in a pound, I should be able to convert my total weight into ounces. So right now it's in pounds, 1.5, or again, 1.5. Each pound has 16. So to find the total ounces, I'm going to multiply it. Why do I multiply? Because I'm going from a larger unit of measurement to a smaller unit of measurement. I'm going from pounds to ounces. Anytime I go from a larger unit of measurement to a smaller unit of measurement, I multiply the total by the amount per unit. So, on my scratch piece of paper. Now, if you recall, earlier in the year, we covered how to multiply with decimals. And when I multiply with decimals, I multiply as if the decimal isn't there. Whether I have one number with a decimal or both numbers have decimals, I just multiply it as if I'm multiplying that number and there's no decimal there. I will worry about that decimal once I finish multiplying. So I'm going to pretend like I'm just multiplying 15 times 16 here. 6 times 5, I always start in the ones column. 6 times 5 is going to be 30. That's why I put the 0 down, carry the 3. 6 times 1, of course, is the same. Any number times 1 stays the same. And then I add the 3, so I have 6 plus 3. So 90. So 6 times 15 gives me 90. Well, I'm done with the 6, but I still have the 1. What place value is that 1 in? It's in the tens, so I have to add a 0 before I start. I put a 0 down there to represent that I'm in the tens place value. Then I just multiply 15 times 1. So 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So I have 90. I take my two numbers. I add them together. 0, that's 14. So I put the 4 down, carry the 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So I find that 15 times 16 is 240. But that's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is 1.5 times 16. So now I have to put that decimal back in. And to do that, all I simply do is count how many numbers are behind a decimal in both numbers. Well, there's only one decimal and there's only one number behind it. This doesn't have a decimal, so I have no numbers to count. So I have one digit, meaning I move the decimal one time. And I find that 1.5 times 16 will give me 24. 24.0, since that's a 0.0, I don't even need to worry about that. So when I come back over here, the carton of eggs is going to, or the total ounces is going to be 24. 1.5 times 16 is 24. So the carton of eggs weighs about 24 ounces. Now, in ounces, find the weight of each egg in a carton. Well, if a carton has a dozen eggs, then one carton, again, will have 12, because a dozen means 12. So to find that, I take the total amount of ounces, which again I found is 24 ounces, and I divide it by the amount of eggs that are in the carton, which I just found out was 12. And by dividing, I will find the weight of each egg in ounces. Now, why am I dividing? Well, I'm dividing the total number of weight. I'm not dividing because I'm going from a smaller unit to a larger unit, because I'm not changing the units of measurement here. I'm dividing because I'm finding the weight of each. And whenever, again, each is one of those words that if I see it in a problem, tells me I'm probably grouping. And if I'm grouping, I'm probably dividing. So 24 divided by 12. Well, if I'm not sure about that, I can do that over here on my scratch piece of paper. If I know my 12s from my 9 lines, from my math facts, then this is easy because I'll remember that 12 times 2 is 24. But if I'm not sure, I can do it this way and see that 12 goes into 24 2 times. 2 times 12 is 24. There's no remainder, so the answer is 2. So each egg will weigh about 2 ounces. So that's my final answer. Each egg weighs about 2 ounces. All right. So you can see that was the results of our example problem, converting pounds into ounces and then dividing the ounces up by the total number of eggs. In this case, it was 12, to find the weight of each egg. Now, what I would like you to do is to work on problems 1, 2, and 3 to finish this page off. Try your best. Remember, you're going to be doing multi-step conversions, meaning you're going to convert 2 different types of units of conversion or units of measurement. As a challenge, if you'd like to challenge yourself, you can work on 441 and try your hand at numbers 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And even more of a challenge, you could try your hand at 10 and 11 on the other page. You can see 10 has many steps to it. But what I would like you to concentrate on is trying to solve at least problems 1, 2, and 3. And then, of course, you'll see that I'm asking you to do the mid-chapter checkpoint by the end of today, because it is the end of the week. If you're watching this on Friday, like you should be, we've reached the end of the week and the end of our mid-chapter. So do your best, go back through all the units we've looked at so far, which are units 10.1 through 10.4, and see if you can fill in answers to the mid-chapter checkpoint on pages 443 and 444. All right, and let me know how you did. I will post answers to the mid-chapter checkpoint on Monday in the Google Classroom. All right, if you have any other questions, feel free to email me or comment below. and make sure that you have subscribed so that you get all the new videos.